I'm always stoked to catch up with my man Malcolm Jackson. He is photographer extraordinaire. You have done so much. So I talk about you being a photographer extraordinaire, and I mean, you've traveled the country, the world, working with magazines internationally, but your exhibitions have been profound, and they usually have a very special meeting. So right now we're inside the Ritz, and you have a new exhibit with your man Weldon Ryan.
Yeah.
So tell me about Coastlines.
Yeah, so Coastlines kind of speaks to the history and culture of black beaches, especially in Northeast Florida and the culture around it. And a lot of people in Jacksonville don't know, how important that is to, our culture, and had no idea these things even existed. So I grew up going to American Beach, which is up near Fernandina, Amelia Island area, and I just always get this certain energy there, and I used to just photograph it probably about 5-6 years ago, as whatever American Beach is now. I was trying to make a juxtaposition, put people dressed up in the time period in its heyday and show them, just to bring awareness to the area. And since I started doing that, a lot of people are going up there like, man, I love American Beach. And I had no idea, this was a thing, and they take pride in a place like that.
I did a segment on it years ago, and our old floor director Freddie was telling us stories about.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was going down memory lane.
But yeah, a lot of people didn't. I mean, obviously I'm a transplant, so I didn't know. But people that live here didn't realize, like, oh, this was like the only beach black people could come to, basically around the country, unless you went to Chicago or something, but
yeah.
Especially on the East Coast.
Yeah. So I mean, you had A.L. Lewis, Abraham Lincoln Lewis, who owned the African American Life Insurance Company. You just kept buying up land in that area, and it was a place for his clients to come down. They can bring their families, and they were doing work. Families out at the beach, and it was a place that was safe, because during that time period, blacks weren't allowed to go to Jacksonville Beach, or you had to have a work visa pretty much to go there. And entertainers could entertain, but they still had to be off, the beach by a certain time period. And there's a famous story about James Brown, who would go perform at Jackson Beach, but then had to come back to American Beach. And one night he was going to perform at American Beach. It was so crowded, the fire department had to shut it down. It was a fire hazard.
So why is it so important that you tell these stories? Because I mean, I know there's other ventures that you can do that are more money making, but you're like really about showcasing Jacksonville and the history, and especially from the black perspective.
I mean, it's so important to the history of our city. I mean, I believe a lot of the feats of African Americans built this city to me, and a lot of these things are kind of shown on a worldwide scale. Like the things that have happened in Jacksonville, they may not have made the national news, but that conversation started here, and then it blew up to huge things, from the history of the villa to all these other important elements that have happened. And this is just another element to showcase and be proud of. And also within African American life, we've been taught that we're scared of the water. We know some of us can't swim, but we can take pride and know that's our water too. We have that comfort, that lifestyle as well, and shows the diversity of African Americans through all cultures.
So people, know your history, and I always say support your locals. My man Malcolm is doing big things, and he's definitely putting Jacksonville on his back to represent. So man, keep doing what you do.